Hey everyone, thanks for joining. Today I'm doing a preview for Mage Popp, a new S-rank version of my favorite character in Dai series. If you haven't watched the original series, I strongly recommend it. Pop is in some of the most memorable moments of the story, like Baran fights or against Sigma. They're just too many. He's a really likable and very strong character. Anyway, enough of me talking about Pop. Let's move right on as we have a lot to talk about. As usual, disclaimer, this is my prediction based on JP version, not guarantee we'll see the same. Also, please do like and subscribe if you haven't already. It really helps me understand what content I should be focusing on next. Okay, so in terms of timeline, this is still a part 2. I already done a review of Dragon Knight Dai. So Pop, what is he like? So I think his signature skill is the first one, is the Medrowa. It's a non-elemental ignore mitigation, ignore last stance ability. Now that ignore mitigation as last stand is one and only in the game, even in Japan. There is no other skill that does either of that. So that's a huge thing that he's got that. On top of that, he has a triple element magic attacks. One is Bang, one is Freeze, one is Sizz. They are unique in each of the styles. So Bang is an AoE, Freeze is a multi-hit attack, which is useful. The Sizz is a long range or versatile range, and also comes with a stun chance. Also, he has a very good buff. On odd turns, he increases Wiz, movers, and evasion rate. So a little bit similar to Erdrick, but I would say, in terms of offense, he's a lot more aggressive in that his attack damage increases and also move increases. So move can go up to 5 on the turn 5, which is pretty impressive. So great for turtle strategy. Also, he gets a 50% damage uplift on his magic when an ally gets a status ailment, which is again quite a unique mechanics. And also it works with a counter, that's just to mention. So if say on a counter enemies apply status ailment, still works. So very versatile, and this is only awakening 3 perk. Also, he resists 4 elements. Usually units only resist 2, but in this case, he has the 2 basics one, which are Crack and Frizz. But on top of that, as a basic perk, he gets a Sizz resistance and a Dam, and that's 50% of that. Also, I wanted to separate the last one because it's quite unique. He has a magic that pulls allies towards him. Pull unit has been seen in the Summer Seraphy. Some players has been using it very well. This one is without the healing ability, and also it goes a square further. Okay, let's look at the damage. So in terms of damage, I checked out the turn 3 damage versus Baran and the Zoma. So as you can see, the damage is somewhere in between Dorora and Psycho Requiem. Pretty impressive, right? For considering that it ignores mitigation, so it probably does a lot more damage in a current meta units like say Solo or Erdrick or Xenon, for example. So really strong in that regards. But on top of that, as I mentioned, if an ally is applied with a CC, then his damage increases further. Of course, this is Awakening 3 perk, but as you can see on the right, it's significant damage uplift and ignoring mitigation on top of that. So really impressive damage, really strong skill that, and also this can be used on a turn 2, which is a lot faster than some of the other coup. I'm not going to go one by one on the spell damage, but I just wanted to give you a turn 1 comparison of damage so you can get a feel for what his damage is going to be like. So he's got a Bang AoE attack, which is a slightly stronger version than Edric. Very impressive. He's got a Frizz attack. It's a 5 hit, but the total damage is about Graynor. Again, very impressive. A single target is somewhat weaker, but even that is slightly stronger than Madessa's Sizz attack, and that has a 40% chance to stun. And then while that is already an impressive level, if allies been CC'd, he gets about 70% increase with a whiz buff as well. So fully buffed, he does 70% more damage than the listed damage, which is absolutely crazy, right? So, fully buffed Pop makes it probably the strongest or second strongest at least in each of the element segments. So really, I mean, obviously excluding non-elemental Medroa, that's a kind of unique one, but all of these three types becomes the strongest attack in the game. And I wanted to show you some showcase example of the video. So I found this VTuber in Japan who's fought against a well-used Pop together with, as you see on the left, Pop, Baran, Forest Dragon, Solo, and Shell Slime. That was the team apparently that had a 31 winning streak on, I think it was a remaster or something. But anyway, I think this team seemed quite strong in showcasing the kind of usability of Pop. So I want to show you quickly the video. Okay, so this is his team fighting against this Baran Pop team. So Baran moves forward and does the Aurora. So usually this is just a normal action, right? And then it kind of, by taking initiative, it also exposes your unit, so it'd be easier for his team to take out Baran if needed. However, here comes Pop, who moves left and used the ability to pull Baron back to safety. So this was his kind of turtle strategy, keeps chipping damage and keeping back to safety. So I thought that was a pretty strong strategy, I thought. Okay, so let's recap strengths and weaknesses. I think we covered pretty much of the strength, but I think it's all is in Medroa, and he's a great for turtle strategy. Something that we haven't talked about is more on the weakness side, so let's look one by one. So first one, and I highlighted in yellow because all of them are quite critical weaknesses. So first one is that he's actually very easy to kill despite all the elemental resistance, because he's just HP is low. These days, a unit without mitigation can be killed with non-elemental quite quickly. He's zap weak as well. Of all the elements, he's weak to zap, and zap is just so common, like we're seeing with Solo. He's weak to bounce. He's got absolutely no ability that penetrates through bounce, and so nor does snub. So really, typical major problem without any ways to kind of get around it. Okay, so what is my first impression of Mage Popp? How useful should you pull? Let me know what you think as well, as usual. So Pop, I placed him in the great tier for Awakening 1. I think he's usable because of the 3 elements. Attack are decent. So PvE contents, with the 4 resistance, it should be really good. And then on Awakening 5, I placed him in top tier, but I kind of, wasn't sure whether I should put in great. He's definitely above Dai, but he's probably below Baran in terms of usability, because he's great on some maps, but kind of really trash on others. So, which brings me to my final thoughts on Mage Popp, is that he's extremely versatile mage with one and only Medroa, and it's really, really cool skill. Also, unique pull ally skill, 4 elemental resistance, and a versatile kit. However, mages in general are really, really challenging in DQT meta right now. So many snubs, bounce, etc. So, and also generally he's just so easy volatile. So he's really easy to kill. So I would say he's a very, very stable member in the turtle team, but really struggle on the blitz favored maps, so smaller maps in RTA. So I don't know. It's kind of a unit you could use for slower strategy if the map allows. So that's my verdict on early verdict on Mage Popp. Hope you enjoyed it and see you soon.